Grazie. Yes, sì. Grazie hello Roma. Well, this is my family. I have a son whose name is Max, and he's 17. Another who's 16. There is my husband Scott, and our zero-waste dog, Zizou. And today, our family of 4 produces 1 jar of trash per year. That's why I'm here. Our journey started 10 years ago, where we read some books and watched documentaries, which made my husband and I sad, thinking about the future that we were going to leave behind for our kids. So we got motivated to change our consumption, but there was no guide on how to live a zero-waste lifestyle. So we had to test a lot of things. And for example, I learned how to can. But there are other things we tried that did not quite work out for us. I tried stinging nettle in lieu of a lip plumper. Don't recommend it. We tried moss in lieu of toilet paper. Don't recommend it. I tried baking soda and apple cider vinegar instead of shampoo. I don't recommend it. But after testing all these things, we found our balance. And we found that for zero waste to be sustainable in our household, all we had to do was follow these 5 rules in order. Refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, rot. So the first rule to a zero-waste lifestyle is to refuse what we do not need. We've simply learned to say no. Because today in this consumerist society, we're the targets of many, many promotional goods. But every time we accept them, we're creating a demand to make more. And accepting is a way of consuming. And once we accept these things, not only do they clutter our space, but they also become our trash problem. So we've simply learned to say no. Learned to say no to single-use plastics, promotional freebies, junk mail, the meal on the plane, and business cards. The second rule to a zero-waste lifestyle is to reduce what we do actually need. Of course, we need a roof on our heads, a few pieces of clothing, a few pieces of furniture, but we've gone through a decluttering process. The beauty of decluttering is that it allows us to put back on the market very valuable things. I mean, things are valuable resources on themselves, so we can share them with the community. The community can have access to it, and it boosts the second-hand market, which is very important for the future of zero waste. This is my kitchen. And next to my stove, I used to have a jar filled with accessories. I had 10 wooden spoons. But then I found I only need 1. This is a picture of underneath my sink. It used to be filled with cleaning products because I was listening to what the marketers tell us. They tell us that for each application, we need a different product. The window's a product, the floor's another product, the bathroom's another product. But we found that we don't need these products. Vinegar and water and a natural soap that we buy in bulk is enough. In our bathroom, we have very few hygiene and cosmetic products. So the picture on the right represents all the products that we have for hygiene and cosmetic in our home. For example, for hygiene, we sprinkle baking soda, which we buy in bulk, onto a wooden toothbrush, which is compostable. My husband and the teenagers use a double-edged razor to shave, and then to wash our hair, our face, our body, and also to shave, we use 1 bar of soap, which is sold without packaging. For cosmetics, I use either vegetable oil or lotion, which I buy in bulk. On my eyes, the black is a burnt almond. On my cheeks, I use chocolate powder, which I buy in bulk. This is our bedroom, and this is our closet. We've learned that in a typical closet, people only use 20% of their clothes because they keep the other 80% for the what if. So in our case, we figured out what our 20% were, and we've let go of the other 80%. So in my case, I have 2 dresses, 2 skirts, 2 pairs of pants, 1 pair of shorts, 8 tops, 5 pairs of shoes, and 1 sweater. No, it's hard in Italy to believe that I only have 5 pairs of shoes, but believe me, I live well. But I know what you're doing. What is she wearing today? I'm wearing this one. But I found that having less does not restrict my options. I have chosen items that are multifunctional. My wardrobe allows me to create more than 50 looks. This is my teenager's bedroom. He's as minimalist as the rest of the family. He has 7 t-shirts, 2 long-sleeve shirts, 1 dress-up shirt, 2 pairs of shorts. And his whole wardrobe fits in a carry-on. Each of our wardrobes fits in a carry-on, even mine. It's here with me in Rome. So when I travel, I no longer have to ask myself, what should I bring? Because I can bring it all. But also, if I want to go away, if we want to go away on a weekend, a week, or a month, we open our carry-ons, we throw our wardrobes in it, we zip it, we're out of the door. Then we have a cleaning service that comes, cleans the house, and then we have people that rent our house and pay for our vacations. Don't go thinking we hide stuff in other parts of the house. This is our linen closet, and this is our garage. We've let go of all the things we did not truly use or need, and including unnecessary sporting equipment, which has allowed my husband to concentrate, focus on his favorite sports, which is cycling. Now, the third rule of a zero-waste lifestyle is to reuse. For us, reusing means swapping anything disposable for a reusable alternative. So this jar filled with handkerchiefs is what has replaced the tissue box. No need for paper towels or sponges. We replace them with rags, a wooden scrubby, which is compostable, a metal scrubby, which is recyclable. We eliminated aluminum foil, plastic wraps, wax paper, freezer bags with glass jars. We use them to transport our food and store our leftovers. But reusing also means going grocery shopping with a kit of reusables. So these are the things we take with us to the grocery store. So we take totes. We take an old pillowcase for bread, glass jars for anything wet, mesh bags for produce. We buy milk in a returnable container. So here I am going to the grocery store. The staff is going to put the fish straight into the jar, and they're going to deduct the tare, which is the weight of the jar, from the total weight, so I don't pay for it. Then I go through the bulk section of my grocery store. I've learned to make do with what's available to me in that grocery store. It's, believe me, I have way, way less than you have in the, what is it called? Negozio leggero. Then I transfer anything dry in glass containers. So this is what our pantry looks like. And this is our refrigerator. The drawers is actually very smart because it's allowed us to completely eradicate food waste. Because we store our food and leftovers in glass jars, we can see what we have. But we also have an aerial view of what's available to us. If you have a refrigerator, a vertical one, an armoire type, then and you store your food in aluminum foil or Tupperware, your favorite foods come forward on the shelf, your least favorite move backwards, then they expire and you have to throw them out. We also buy our wine in bulk. The second rule of reusing is to buy secondhand when we do need to buy something. So all our wardrobes are purchased secondhand. Yes, even the leather heels, $5. But for the things we cannot find at the charity shop, then we fall back on other ways of buying secondhand. So we bought the table on a local peer-to-peer website and the chairs at a flea market. For the things we can find at the shop, or at the free market, then we fall back on eBay. But we make sure to select in the left-hand column second-hand and request that the shipper only send it to us in paper or cardboard. The fourth rule of a zero-waste lifestyle is to recycle, but recycle only what we cannot refuse, reduce, or reuse. So zero waste does not encourage you to recycle more, but less. That's done thanks to the first 3 R's, which works on the prevention of waste in the first place. We don't recycle this much, but this much. We've learned a lot about plastic materials. We've learned that they're not only toxic to our health when they're being manufactured, they're also toxic to our health when we use them. Yeah, a lot of plastic materials leach into food. But very few plastics have the chance of being recycled. There is only a market for very few plastics. And the few that are turned into something useful are turned into a product that will no longer be recyclable. So when they turn a plastic bottle into a park bench, that park bench is no longer recyclable. It's meant for the landfill, or worse, the incinerator, where the resource is lost forever. So instead, we favor other materials: glass, metal, cardboard, wood because it's compostable. We compost meat and fish bones, but we also compost fruit and veggie peels, but only the fruit and veggie peels of the fruit and veggies that need to be peeled. So I don't peel eggplants or potatoes, apples. That has allowed us to take advantage of the vitamins that are enclosed in those peels. But we also compost butter wrappers. Butter is the only food or the only necessity that we can't buy in bulk, so we chose it in wax paper. So we also compost floor sweepings. We also compost my husband's hair, my kids' hair, my bangs, but I do not compost the rest of my hair because I actually recycle my hair. I let it grow down to here, then I do a ponytail, I cut it, and I send it to an organization that makes wigs for cancer patients. Not so long ago, had I heard about a zero-waste family, I would have thought, these people must be total hippies. Or she's a stay-at-home mom who spends way too much time worrying about her trash and making a bunch of things. But this is not the case at all. I have a full-time job with a very busy schedule. I only make very few things. It's my cosmetic necessities, and I presented them earlier. They're made with very few ingredients, and I make them once a year. We found that the zero-waste lifestyle is not just good for the environment, as you would imagine, it's also been good for our health. We've eliminated all toxic products from our lives. On my skin, I use food items. When I used to buy mascara at the store, I would get conjunctivitis twice a year. Ever since I started making my own, I have not had one conjunctivitis. But when we got started, it was in the midst of the recession, and my husband saw me go to the health food store with my totes, and he said, "We can't afford to do this, it's too expensive." And people on my blog were saying the same thing, so I asked my husband to compare our bank statements between the zero-waste lifestyle and the lifestyle before zero waste. This is when Scott found that we were saving 40% on our overall budget. This is due to the fact that, one, we consume way less than before. We're happy with the number of things we have in our home. If we buy something, it's only to replace what needs to be replaced. And when we buy that replacement, we buy it secondhand, which obviously costs less. But we also buy our food in bulk. When you buy a product that is packaged, 15% of the price covers the cost of the packaging. And in the case of laundry detergent, it's 70% that covers the cost of the packaging. It's obviously not the manufacturer that's paying for this, it's you, the consumer. So when you buy without packaging, you make automatic savings. But we've also replaced anything that's disposable for a reusable alternative. So that means that we're no longer throwing our money away. Because buying something with single use, it's buying, using, throwing away. It's literally throwing your money away. We've stopped all that. It's translated into huge cumulative savings over time, and those savings are such that they've allowed us to install solar panels on our roof and a grey water system which reuses the water from the showers and the washing machines to irrigate our property. But to me, the best advantage of this lifestyle is the simple life. Definition, voluntary simplicity is not there to complicate your life, but simplify your life. Make room in your life for what matters most to you. Thanks to this lifestyle, we've been able to do things we would have never thought possible before. We've discovered a life based on experiences instead of things. It's a life based on being instead of having. Thanks to this lifestyle, we've been able to afford activities that we would have never thought possible, like snorkeling between 2 continents. We have gone ice climbing. This summer we went snorkeling with humpback whales. But my favorite picture is this one. I think it represents the lifestyle perfectly because this lifestyle has translated into absolute happiness. Gandhi said happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. I believe the zero waste lifestyle has done exactly that for me. Grazie. This little French au pair, at the age of 18, would have never thought that she'd launch a global movement. The book, which thanks to Logart Press is now translated into 17 languages. The blog and the attention that we've received from the media has allowed us to launch a global movement. But some people have even decided to go further, like Marie, who opened the first unpackaged store in Germany. This couple who opened an unpackaged store in Switzerland 1 year ago, today they're a franchise with 9 locations throughout Switzerland. There is this couple who also was inspired to open an unpackaged store in Montreal. I found that my book or the speeches I've given in Montreal have inspired the opening of 8 unpackaged stores. That's 8 unpackaged stores in one city alone. I spoke in Dublin in March. They did not have an unpackaged store before I went. Between March and July, they opened 5 unpackaged stores in Dublin. In Cape Town, they opened 3 unpackaged stores since May when I visited. And there is Gérard who, after reading the book, decided that there should be more products sold in returnable packaging, so he launched a line of unpackaged or refillable items. There is this woman who launched a line of cloth bags, and Jason, who's the head of a chain of bulk stores in Canada, who we inspired to change its policy, and today they accept reusable containers in the 270 stores that they have throughout Canada. And there is Anne, who opened this little mobile shop. I think it's absolutely beautiful. But the people I just mentioned and my family have one thing in common. Do you know what that might be? Simply the regret of not having started earlier. So I would encourage you to think about this. What do you have to lose on adopting a zero-waste lifestyle? Maybe will you discover something about yourself? Maybe will you discover absolute happiness as we have. Thank you.